Okay. Well, I am indeed streaming this. So, I've watched the video back all of about the last 1 minute, which, let me just make sure I don't miss anything here. Sorry, I'm just watching it back the last minute here. All right. Yeah, it just sounds like you can kind of wrap it up there. Okay. So, this is just a little bit of follow-up on, because I just now watched it, and since I am a part, I think in part, he's referring to in that video. Yeah. There we go. I had to readjust that. That's weird. So I'm gonna wait and see, make sure people actually hear. Is anyone? We all good here? I just want to see a comment pop up in the chat just to make sure everything is working properly. Because I just had to readjust something weird. I just want to see what's up here. Let me send this. Make sure I don't accidentally have it listed as like unlisted or something. Not unlisted, is it? Hope not. Sorry, I'm just to those who are probably watching right now. I'm just waiting to see here. Okay, it only says one watching. Something's up. I mean, it's not like it's a gigantic problem. Okay, there's Kate, so at least that's working, but that's because they sent the link out. Is this unlisted? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Let me go sure it isn't. If it is, then I might have to restart this. Make sure this is actually public. Yep, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'm just looking through here. Info and settings. It is public. Okay, that's strange. That's strange that no one is on by, really. So, let me also get this link out to some other places. I know I'm live. I'm just making sure that I didn't go live like with the stream being unlisted or something. Let me send it. Let me go ahead and send it over on the Discord. That might get some attention. Again, my sole reactions here are not negative or really positive for that matter. There's some stuff that I want to go into, but how many people are here right now? So I just want to make sure that the message gets out at least. I'm actually going to see if I can see if Team Hedgehog is right now. My goodness. There's a lot of stuff going on. No, not there. I'll just send it in general. There we go. Okay. So, Alex out of that. Okay. So I watched the video back And this is just me kind of saying what I feel on the matter. I mean, thanks for sending the link. Much appreciated. But, geez, I can tell that you're a little upset about this. I can tell that that video also received kind of mixed reactions. Some people are 100% behind him and think that things desperately need to change. I can tell that some others are like, what do you think you're doing, whatever. I'm kind of in the middle on this, in that I see 100% where he's coming from and what he means. I know exactly what he means, why he feels the way that he does. So I understand. I'm fully understandable what he said there and what his thought is. NAPAFan is I mean, the NRLOA in general, like he said, he meant it for it to be a solely family-friendly deal. And just a good league in that regard. And there are a lot of people, including myself, who have started doing these other things, being in the NRLOA, but these other things that may reflect on the NRLOA somewhat, just not in the best light, such as the Cards Against Humanity stuff that has now become a bit of a thing in in the NR community somewhat. I'm pretty big on it. Nathan's pretty big on it. Even Elijah, who's the current president of the NRLOA, is doing stuff like that. And I can tell that NAPAFan just sees that as like, my gosh, this is not what I envisioned at all. Because he is a pretty devout, he's pretty devout to Christianity, which is fully understandable. I'm a Christian myself. I can fully admit that as well. So this kind of started with the whole that Yes to Jericho person who was saying all that stuff. And now I do have some light because I do see the very top comment, and NAPAFan is 100% behind this comment. I wish that the league had always been what it was like without all this Cards Against Humanity spreading negativity. And then NAPAFan responding with, "Got a brother in Christ right here." That's one of the big specific things that is that bothers him. So I see what he means, and it's understandable. At the same time, in my book, I mean, I'm a Christian. Elijah is a Christian. We believe in God. Yeah, I guess just the Cards Against Humanity is just a chance for us to let loose, just kind of do our thing. And just some of the other stuff that goes on is just kind of our way of doing our thing. If that is going to kind of reflect badly on what the NRLOA is meant to stand for, that is, however, understandable. And that is why, at this current moment, I am in doubt staying in the NRLOA at this point. I had thought about this during the whole deal where someone was going after NAPAFan, telling him why did he let me into the NRLOA because of some other incident that went down. I considered this, and now I'm considering it again, and it may very well happen. Because Cards Against Humanity, for me, is a very fun thing to do. Yet, at the same time, I can see what he means, that it just doesn't reflect what he wants the league to reflect. I've got no problem with that at all. I've got no problem with him having that stance on it. It's just that I don't know. I feel like it just isn't really hurting anyone. There is some other forms of negativity that are going around, which I actually kind of touched on in the other video that I did earlier, of what kind of how I feel about that whole negativity thing. I don't know. I think things have just been very strange in 2018 so far. I don't know why I only have 4 people watching. I would really hope that we get more people who check this out later or something, because this is a big deal for me, and I want everyone to hear me out about this. Because I may be making a little bit of an announcement here. Let me go on Hangouts one more time and just kind of get the word out. I do see there is a good call going on over there. Who's that? Someone else is in there. Okay, that's Alex. Sorry, give me a minute. Here we go. So essentially, because the Cards Against Humanity is very fun for me, it gives us all a chance just to let loose, and just have fun. Well, I think in part, I remember Nathan mentioning in his stream that he thinks that the NRLOA has gotten too big and involves too many people now, and I see where he's coming from, and I actually kind of agree. There are so many people now associated with the NRLOA, which I also think is kind of in part why the NROL broke off and became its own thing, which I think is fully understandable, and that is actually part of what I am considering doing. But what I'm more leaning toward is something else, which to those who have been following me long enough, you'll know what I might be thinking about. And it might happen. I have to think on this more, but I don't want to say it quite yet. And hello, Nathan. This is just me kind of talking about what NAPAFan's video, the video titled How I Feel About the Current State of the NRLOA, where he essentially says that he feels that the NRLOA is not what it used to be anymore. He does. Essentially, I think what it boils down to is like all of the Cards Against Humanity stuff that we're doing, and that's some of the underlying stuff, and then just the general, just kind of inappropriate things that people are doing. I think that's what he means, and I see where he's coming from. Yet at the same time, what I was saying was, I feel like that's just kind of our way of letting loose, having fun, as long as we're not directly hurting someone. I don't see any problem with that. However, I do see where he's coming from. I'm taking kind of a middle ground as to I'm taking kind of a middle ground stance as far as like just where I stand on what he was saying there. Travis, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to NAPAFan's newest video, How I Feel in the Current State of the NRLOA, and that will shed some light. It's 11.5 minutes. It's pretty long, but that will shed some light as to what I'm talking about here. So, I mean, I see where he's coming from, but it's in that regard that I feel like I think that my NRLOA card is going to go away because I don't want to. It is NAPAFan's league. It's what he made. He's the one. He's the main man, so he's kind of the one that calls the shots. So, but at the same time, when you get this many people in here, or into one league, you're gonna get those people that are just gonna let loose all the time like that. And in my book, that's fine. Letting loose. Heck, I let loose. That's why we do Ka. That's me letting loose. I normally wouldn't. I'm not like that normally. I don't usually say such dirty things. I'm usually not that kind of person, but that's just me letting loose. That's all it is to it. But I do think that I will be stepping away from the NRLOA for that reason. All respect to NAPAFan. I still would love to be in his series, and I still got massive respect for the guy, but I also just love doing. I love doing Cards Against Humanity, I will admit, and as dirty and as negative of a thing as it may seem, for someone who isn't familiar with it, to me and to many others who join in those games, it's just a way of letting loose, a way of having fun, a way of just letting it out. It's a stress reliever for me, kind of, and it's fun. It really is fun, just letting loose, and even being a little dirty, a little inappropriate. It's fun. So that's what that boils down to. But now we get to the nitty gritty of what I think I'm going to do. I do have the option of possibly joining the NROL, which I believe is owned by Carter, our good old friend Carter. However, what I'm leaning toward, and I need to think about this. I really need to consider this a lot more. I need to really think about this, so I'm not making a decision right here, right now. But a possibility, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, the return of TRN, my own small little league, which at the time was known as TRN. The possibility of that returning is definitely there. And the only problem is the last time I had that, even though it didn't have like any particular members, it stressed me out to the point that however, at the same time, I've been thinking about this. It's been in the back of my mind of bringing this league back and maybe just seeing what we do with it and just seeing how it goes. However, the NROL still looks like it could be a possibility of me joining that. However, there's some stuff that goes down over there that I don't care for. So essentially, okay, hang on. Let me turn on my other light here. Give me a second. It's getting a little dark in here. Here we go. And I shouldn't be doing this too much longer because we got pizza coming, and I love pizza. Here's how it would pretty much work, or at least this is how I would envision it. This is how TRN was, or well, I'm going to say how TRN was the first time it was a thing. TRN was essentially just, it encompassed all the NR series that I used to do. It didn't have any other members running TRN series, such as the NRLOA or the NROL or anything else like that. It was just my own thing, but it encompassed all of the leagues that I did. And essentially, I was the owner, and then I had my group of friends, such as Mantreon. Like at the time, it would have been Mantreon, probably Brandon G, Nabstatin, Mark, Nathan wasn't quite around at that time, but I would be more than glad to have him on board, at least in that regard. And then our old buddy Jack Cochran, who I guess you could say was a little bit of a co-owner of that. And people seemed pretty into it, and I got pretty into it. But then I think it was a combination of some personal stuff that was happening, the fact that I think I tried doing too many series at once, and just the general pressure of trying to do everything drove me over the edge. And then one event happened, and needless to say, bleep hit the fan. Yeah. NRL is the best option in my opinion. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. There is stuff that goes down in the NRL that I don't care for. The NRLOA was seemed more appropriate at the time. Nathan was in it, and is in it, and is kind of one of the bigger guys in it. Elijah's one of the bigger guys in it, and I'm glad to have them as good pals. But let's see. This is what I will say. Do what you want to do. No matter what happens, we will still be here and still have your back 110%. Well, I appreciate that. It's just, I need to think about this. This is going to be on my mind for a while. I need to give this maybe a day or even a few days to consider my options. However, I do think that my NRLOA card is going away simply because it's more out of respect for NAPAFan, because I do these Cards Against Humanity things, and I'm definitely somewhat of a part of what NAPAFan is talking about. So out of respect for him and the NRLOA, I'm going to step away from that. It's just a matter of either joining another existing league, which would be the NROL. The NOFSRL, I have heard about that. I just am not familiar enough with it. Maybe I'll look into it. I might look into that because I have talked to Marty before, only on one occasion. I've been in a call with him on one occasion, and he's a good dude. He's a really, really good dude. Well, I think that was my dinner bell. I'm not sure if you heard that or not, but pizza's here, so I should probably get going here in a minute. But so I'll consider that. I'll consider the NOFSRL. So I've got really three options on the table for myself. Join the NROL, join the NOFSRL, or bring TRN back. In which case, that would essentially be me going full independent. If I bring TRN back, that would be me going fully independent. And if it turns into something, it turns into something. I just hope that it doesn't get to the point that starts to stress me out again. So I have to admit, bringing back TRN is kind of what I'm leaning toward at this very moment. But I need to think about it. I need to consider my options, and we'll go from there. The reason that I'm considering maybe bringing back TRN is because it seems to me like I've got at least a decent enough following, I guess you could say. That's not meant to sound egotistical or anything. But that's just my thought, because people have even suggested that to me while I was in the NRLOA. Someone has said, like, hey, you're big enough, you can probably start your own league. And essentially, that would be me starting TRN again. So I'll have to think about it. We'll see. I will talk to some folks, probably. I do appreciate the inputs that I have been given here so far. But I will consider my options. I'm sure Carter would be more than happy to let me into the NROL, so that certainly is a good possibility. The NOFSRL is probably the least likely, but certainly not off the table. So I'll consider all that. Next race will be the first race without NRLOA. Probably, or it might be kind of a swan song final race. We'll see. We'll see on that. We'll have to see. But whatever my decision turns out to be, I'll definitely let everyone know. But I'll have to think about the matter a little more, and we'll go from there. Anyways, NSN. You'd have to give that some thought as well. We'll see. Okay. So, anyways, I'm gonna go get my pizza. Hopefully in about 2 hours from now, hopefully we'll still be the stream for DDLC. Oh joy, that is gonna be good. So I still plan on doing that, but I'm gonna think about it, and we'll go from there. But this could be my final stream under the NRLOA name. All the best to NRLOA. All the best to NAPAFan. All the respect to you. I see where you're coming from, man. I just feel like I just enjoy doing my own thing, and think it's kind of what we all enjoy doing, as long as it doesn't get into harmful territory. But I do see where you're coming from, and all respect to you. That's what I have to say. thank you everyone for your time. I will hopefully see you all in about 2 hours for the absolute WTF fest that is DDLC Doki Doki. Oh boy, it is going to be nuts. Hope to see you all for that. And we'll see just what the future holds. Thank you everyone for your time. And best to the NRLOA. Take care. And bye for now.